can I ask you something?
Sure thing. Shoot, Timmy.
Danny.
Danny.
When you were my age, did you ever have trouble deciding what you wanted to do with your life?
No, I never had that problem, really. Why?
Forget it. I didn't think you'd understand.
You take drugs, Danny?
Every day.
I like you, Betty.
That's Danny, sir.
Danny. I'm going to give you a little advice. There's a force in the universe that makes things happen.
And all you have to do is get in touch with it.
Stop thinking. Let things happen. And be the ball. Danny? Danny?
Sir?
Where's the wedge?
Right here, sir.
Thank you, Danny. Find your center. Hear nothing. Feel nothing.
That was kind of incredible, sir.
You try, Danny.
Pardon me?
Pardon you? Here. You try it.
I don't know.
Go ahead. Just relax. Find your center. Picture the shot, Danny. Picture it. Turn off all the sound. Just let it happen. Be the ball. Be the ball, Danny. You're not being the ball, Danny.
Well, it's kind of difficult with you talking like that.
Okay, I'm not talking. Stop talking. Not talking now. Be the ball.
Where'd it go?
Right in the lumberyard.
Thrive Nation, I think that I have stayed in the actual villa or the actual house, the actual home that's behind today's guest, Peter Taunton. Peter Taunton, where are you, sir?
Now, you know what? I'm at Doral Trump National Golf Course. I'm just on the driving range trying to straighten out my golf swing.
I'm pretty positive I've stayed in those rooms behind you there. Now, one of the things wonderful about building a successful company, as you've done multiple times with multiple brands, is that allows you to create time freedom and financial freedom. So please explain to me how your organization, Nautical Bowls, is opening up many, many locations while you're out today whacking a golf ball.
You know what, Clay? I talk about this all the time, balance. The balance between your work life, your family, your faith, friends. And this is I schedule it. If I don't schedule it, it doesn't get done. So I make a point a couple of days a week to have a couple hours to do things that I enjoy. And that's what keeps me sane. So I put this on my calendar for Monday afternoon, and here I am. And I try to zone out and just focus on things that I enjoy. And you know what? I'm blessed to be able to be in a position to do that. But as you know, these treats, these blessings, they don't come without a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice.
Now, are you good at hitting a golf ball?
You know what? I'm not bad. I'm about a 6 handicap. I don't know if you golf or not, but I'm not bad.
So, James, I'm going to ask Peter this. We were talking about this offline, and I'm going to get into your thoughts on this, Peter. You probably have at some point hired a swing coach, or you've probably studied somebody who's good at golf to teach you, because you could get a running start and then kind of do almost like a little skip and then throw the club at the ball. You could get a running start and just kind of try to just scoop it up. You could there's all different ways not to hit a golf ball properly, but you've studied what works. But a lot of people that in business, for some reason, they don't want to study what works. So rather than following the proven system, the proven process, they want to just get up there and hack away and try different moves. And it's clear that it's not ever going to work. I want to get your thoughts on this. How does learning how to master a golf swing relate to learning how to manage a franchise? Because I feel like they're very analogous of studying what works.
Now, you know what? That's a great point, and it's a great guide for all your guests out there. Look, today the good fortune is that we have internet, and we have great clips of people that have been there, done that, giving testimonials, giving great suggestions on how to find your way to success or find your way to financial freedom. So I think that that's great. For me, That's exactly what I did with my golf swing. Look, I took lessons, but also I watch a lot of videos. Just like in business and franchising, getting involved in a franchise, it's proven, statistically it's proven that your chances of success are greatly enhanced if you purchase a franchise. Why? Because they've made all the mistakes, all of the road rash that comes with building a brand. They've experimented, and before they ever start franchising, they've worked out all the kinks. So you're buying a proven formula, whether it's Nautical Bowls or any other concept out there.
So if I were to buy a Nautical Bowls franchise from you, let's get into the brass tacks of it. How much money does it cost to open up a Nautical Bowls? Like what kind of money are we talking about to get in the game?
Well, we're working on that right now. Today it's 100,000 cash, and then the business itself is about 250 that you would finance, and we have financing available, but we're working on getting that down. We've made some changes to the brand, making the footprint just slightly smaller, which lowers some of the overhead, the build out costs, and also the operating costs. So as any brand, as you evolve, you continually move towards efficiencies, and that's what we continue to do. Our focus today is driving down food costs, number one, because that helps create margin for our franchisees. More margin means more profit for our franchisees. That's first and foremost. And then secondly, trying to do whatever we can to get the price of poker, the price of getting into the business, lower that. So I think by the time any of your listeners bought a Nautical Bowls franchise, it's going to look more like 100,000 cash, and you're going to finance between 150 and 200.
Now, James, your desk is about how many feet from mine?
They touch.
Okay, so our desks physically touch. So you're right by me all day, and you made a pretty intense observation before we hopped on with Peter about just the clients you've noticed that I work with that are super successful, and those that I have to kind of fight with. Can you maybe explain to Peter your observation?
Yeah. So you know what? People come in here, they go from 50% growth, and some have 5,000% growth. The ones that grow massively, they spend their time doing the things that work. The ones that, just grow, but not as massively, they're not spending all their time doing all the things that you've proven to do.
So like the Cornerstone Fence people, we work with these guys, Peter, called Cornerstone Fence, and they said, we're doing $60,000 a year total of sales doing fencing, and we want to know what to do. You just show us what to do and we'll do it. And to me as an entrepreneur, I'm thinking, yes. And we want them to grow to $1.5 million of gross sales in 18 months. And so on part 2 of today's show, we're going to share their story. And I really believe that people like that would do well with a Nautical Bowls franchise. I'd love to get your thoughts on the character attributes of who is a good fit to buy a Nautical Bowls and who is not.
Hey, I want to answer that, but I want to go back to the point that you just made on people that grow 5,000% or somebody that grows 10, 15, 20%. I'll tell you straight up, Clay, if I sat in and listened to something, if you gave me a nugget and I got 10% more efficiencies, I would be ecstatic. Because if I'm already operating at what I think is optimal efficiencies, and you can find me another 10% for a high flyer like myself, I'm giving you high fives. Okay. So somebody that comes in and you can show them 5,000% growth, look, you saved their bacon, no question about it. But obviously that just goes to show how some people can be on the wrong track. And once you square their shoulders to the target and give them some great tools, what a dramatic change it can make. So good on you for that. But I just had to give a shout out to those guys that are doing well, that think that they don't have to lean in, because there's opportunities out there. Always be willing to listen, and because you never know when you're going to get that nugget.
I really do believe this sincerely. You are a voice of wisdom, and I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule each week to give our listeners these nuggets of knowledge. And I want to get into 3 areas that are super simple, but I think will change somebody's game in the world of business. 1, you got to have a schedule or a calendar or something. So you scheduled time today to go whack a golf ball. I'm sure when you're done golfing today, I'm sure you have it scheduled when you're going home, or I'm sure you had a time today to do other things. Do you, with the schedule, why is that an essential thing to be successful as an entrepreneur? And why does the vast majority of America not use one?
Look, you and I, we've talked about this. You and I are both big on creating a to-do list every day And what coincides with that to-do list is your schedule. For me, it's all about efficiencies because my day is never done. And I have to have the discipline to push away from the table because it's not healthy for me to be working at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. That's not the answer. Okay. So for me, I always strive for balance. I don't mind if I'm working at 6, but at 7 o'clock, I want to be done because I start my day early. So for me, it's creating the schedule and then prioritizing my to-do list. I think you have to do it. We spoke about it earlier. You know, optimal efficiency in everything that we do. And you can't have optimal efficiency without papering it and putting it on some sort of a schedule.
Now, the to-do list, you're a master of this. You're good about saying, I'm not going to do that today. So, and I did this, James. This is probably a terrible, but it's true. People send me, Peter, a lot of books that they go, you should read this. Okay. So here's what I do, Peter. I get the books and people say big books. I'm talking like a 400-page book. And I didn't ask them for the book. It's just like a book on like 18 steps to become a better gardener or 42 ways to be a better father or 8 ways to, and I love that people send me the books, but I didn't ask for the book. And so my wonderful wife, we've been married 23 years. She'll say to me, are you going to read the book? And I go, no, because I didn't ask for the book. I clearly, like, if I know that I need help in a certain area, if I'm trying to like learn how to renovate a lake house, I'm going to buy a book on how to renovate a lake house. If I want to improve, the efficiency of the office, I'll buy a book on it. But people send me books that I didn't ask for. Furthermore, I don't know if they're credible as an author. I do a couple things there, Peter. I set the books on a big stack next to my desk, and then I offer them to give them away to anybody who wants them. I'm always like, hey, you want a book? Take a book, want a book. And then if no one takes it after a certain time, after they've fermented a little bit, after they've compost a little bit, I set them on fire. Now, I want to get your thoughts on this because people think it's harsh, but I mean, we have so many books that are sent to me all the time. And I feel like in order to grow, you have to say no. And I don't feel bad about it. What are your thoughts? How would you sort a massive amount of books that you didn't ask for being sent to you every day?
Look, tell me that last part again. Unfortunately, a jet was flying over. Sorry about that. I tried to mute my microphone. What was the last piece of the question?
Well, how would you respond to, people sending you unsolicited advice, big piles of books? Would you handle it differently? Because I feel like I have to say no to grow. That's just something I believe in. But a lot of people are out there going, you should read those books.
Yeah, you know what? When I get a book, normally it's from the author, and they write something nice inside it. I keep those because it's so darn nice, right? Yep. But I'm the same way you look. For me, reading a book takes a lot of time, and that's time that I don't have. Now, if I'm going to read a book personally, it's either got to be something that I've got genuine interest in, where I'm trying to learn and expand, broaden my horizon, or it's something that's completely fiction, and I get pure joy out of it. I'm entertaining myself, right? I'm on a plane or I'm sitting on a beach somewhere. Then I do it. Honestly, for me, I do a lot of when I'm driving. I listen to a lot of videos, podcasts, and books on tape. I do a lot of that. That really helps me because then I can drive and listen. That's something I can easily do.
Now, do you, I mean, other things you say no to? Again, I'm just trying to help the entrepreneurs out there. Do you come home after a tough week of working and mow your own grass, or do you climb up into the palm trees and cut down your own, maintain your own palm trees? I mean, do you scale that tree? Do you even mess with that kind of thing?
You know what? I don't, unless I want to. Like at my lake home, I have property managers who maintain the property, but there are sometimes there's something therapeutic about, pulling weeds that are on the shoreline or raking the beach or things like that. I do it purely because there's a sense of accomplishment when I'm done with it. It's like mowing the lawn. So I know a lot of guys, very successful. They could certainly hire someone to do their lawn, but there's a sense of accomplishment that comes with the conclusion of that. You know what? And there's another guy that says, it's a military guy in the Navy. He says, make your bed every day, because that's the first thing that you accomplish. It's the first box that you can check. It's a Navy guy. You could YouTube it, but you know what? It's there's some truth in it. If the first thing you do every day, if it's making your bed, if that's your first win, you're going to start a winner every day.
So as far as saying no to grow, what are things that you just categorically reject? You go, I'm not gonna do that, because I'm trying to help somebody out there. I mean, whether they buy a Nautical Bowls or they buy it or they own their own business right now, somebody is spending their day doing something and it's not growing their business. I mean, the average American's now spending 11.3 hours a day consuming random social media, 11.3 hours a day, according to Nielsen. Is there anything else that you just say, nope, I'm not touching it?
You know what? It's interesting. You bring up the social media piece, because when I work with a lot of people that are trying to level up in their lives, and the first thing, one of the many things that we do is we start looking at how do they spend their day. And to your point, social media. I mean, there's so many people out there that got brainwashed with social media, thinking that that is the answer, and it's not. Okay, it's not. If you're spending a couple hours a day, 2-3 hours a day on social media, like literally watching posts and responding to posts, I ask them, look, are you monetizing it? Are you learning, or are you monetizing it? Because if you're learning, okay, I'm going to give you credit for that, but you can't do it every day. Okay, because you're blowing 2 days of work. You're blowing 10-12 hours a week on something that's not driving. It's not driving the bus in terms of, it's not material in your income earning potential. And when people are talking to me, they're not talking to me to broaden their knowledge. They're talking to me about broadening their wallet. And that's why I tell them, hey, look, if you're going to broaden your wallet, we got to talk about efficiencies, and we got to talking about focusing on the material movers that are going to generate income for you. And that's a big question, Clay, because some people, they're heading down the wrong path. They spend too much time doing something that they're mediocre on, and they're wondering why they're not making great money. They're not making great money because they're not passionate about it. They don't put in any extra because they don't like what they do. That's a big problem today. So there's a lot to it, helping people level up. There's many things that you need to address in doing that process. And you and I could spend an hour on that alone.
Now let's focus on these revenue drivers. If I buy a Nautical Bowls franchise, and I get the franchise built, and I have the new footprint, and I've got all the great recipes and all the great systems, and I don't go get customers, I'm not going to become successful. The good news is you guys have already refined these systems. So if you buy a franchise from Nautical Bowls, you really only have to master 3 or 4 things every single day. So one, you're going to have to staff the store. And guess what? You only have to have 1 or 2 people per shift-ish working. Peter, how many people do we have to staff every day to make a Nautical Bowls store successful?
Yeah, it's one full-time employee. And to your point there, Clay, that's exactly right. What we try to do is create a simple business that brings a lot of value. And I think that we've accomplished that. The acai bowl space, it's very relevant. It's a very hot category. In people's eyes. It's new, growing. It's growing year over year. It's the fastest growing segment within the healthy, fast casual restaurant space. So we created something simple, easy, something that's relevant in the eyes of the consumer. And we made the business very repeatable. So you're going to do the same thing day in, day out. The only thing that's going to vary is going to be obviously the customers that walk through your door. And if you love people, and if you love, the feeling of being an entrepreneur and carving your own path and finding your way to financial freedom, then this is a great path. We make it easy for people to get into business, and that's half the battle.
So again, you got to staff 1 or 2 people a day. Okay, got it. Check. James, next thing, if you bought a Nautical Bowls, you're going to have to go out there and make sure customers are happy and gather objective reviews from actual real customers that actually just tried the product. Peter, why is that such a critical thing in today's world, gathering those objective reviews from actual happy customers?
Yeah, and you know what, Clay, nobody does that better than you. And for us, it's getting customer reviews, getting video testimonials. There's nothing better than that, because that's validation in the eyes of the consumer. And I can sit here and talk about how amazing our bowls are, but it has a different context when it's coming from one of our guests, unsolicited, that gives us a high review on Google because of their guest experience. And that's why it matters for us. For us, it's not just the product. Here's the boxes that I know I can check. I have a great product. I think I have the best product in the country when it comes to acai bowls, number 1. Number 2, the look and feel inside our stores. It's got great energy, the whole nautical theme. We got surfboards as tables, good music. Check the second box. The third piece, that's the most important, the guest experience. That's why we focus on greeting people when they come in, thanking them when they leave. We want people to feel special, and that's why we focus on it. And when you do that, and then everyone that comes through, we ask them if they love their experience, if they wouldn't mind leaving us a review. And we make it easy. We have a little QR code. They scan it. It brings them right to the place where they need to go. They put their review in. So like I said, nobody does it better than Clay. Clay, I think you're like world champion in Google reviews, and that's the key. So someday when I grow up, I want to be just like Clay.
No, this is, I want people to know this little context here. I'm going to pull this up real quick here. OxyFresh, one of the brands I work with, and hopefully Jonathan Barnett, the CEO of OxyFresh, can connect with you, because you are a franchise champion. And one of the things that we do at OxyFresh, which is a great thing, is, we got 500 locations and we're cleaning carpet every day. And we've baked it into the culture that we're going to get a review from every single happy customer. And we now have 271,000 reviews. Now, I just want people to understand this. If you search for carpet cleaning quotes, we come up top in the world, and that phone rings all day. And I'm telling you, folks, I'm telling you, proven moves on today's show that you can apply. Now, you might say, I'm learning all this, but how am I going to apply it in my own life? That's where buying a Nautical Bowls comes in. If you don't own your own business and you're looking for an opportunity, Nautical Bowls is a great option. But again, if you buy one, you got to staff it every day. Okay, got it. Staff it, 1 or 2 people. 2, you got to get reviews from happy customers. There's 2 more things you have to do every day. You got to follow the checklist. Peter, you got checklists. James, you how far is your desk for mine? Again, how far?
It touches.
It didn't move. Okay. And so when your desk is next to mine, do you ever want to just scream when you hear of an adult who's like, I just don't do well with checklists?
You know what? It's so crazy. It does. It just, I don't know why they just can't just stick to it.
It's the craziest thing ever. We'll have a contractor or a home builder or a doctor or a dentist that will call me and they'll say, I want to grow my dental practice, and I'll teach them how to do it. And we document their success at thrivetimeshow.com. They'll triple the size of their dentistry or double the size of their home building company. And then they go, I get so bored just doing the same checklist every day. Help somebody out there, Peter, it's working so well, it's boring. What would you say?
Well, if I come across someone who truly desires to be an entrepreneur, and they want to be successful and they want to be efficient, the checklist is a critical part of that whole process. And somebody who says, yeah, I don't do well with checklists, that is the low-hanging fruit for people like us, because we say, look, you want to increase efficiencies, just start the checklist. I'm going to help you with it. Let's focus on these top 5 things every day. In other words, do these 2 or 3 things. And that's something that any good franchise does. They say, look, here's the big movers. Here's the material things you need to focus on. And make sure that you do these things every day or every week, whatever it might be. But once again, checklist, and then accountability, right? You got to hold yourself accountable, which takes discipline. That's a whole other context as well. But discipline, accountability, and scheduling, they work hand in hand.
Final thing I wanted to ask you about, Peter, is if you buy a Nautical Bowls franchise, what you're going to have to do, folks, is you're going to have to go out there and market to your ideal and likely buyers by dropping off ample samples that other humans, their minds can handle. What am I saying? Ample samples that the minds of other humans can handle. I mean, you want to show up and say, hey, I am here on behalf of Team Nautical Bowls, dropping off some delicious meal replacement, these healthy snacks, and I want to drop off a few for you so you can try it out before you decide to visit us. We're located down the street. Here you go. Why do you have to get outside of your 4 walls as a Nautical Bowls owner and get into the world of other local businesses and give them ample samples?
Yeah, it's key. For us, honestly, it's such a new category. Probably 75% of the population has never had an acai bowl. In fact, if I held a sign up that said acai, and most people would call it acai. So that lets you know what we're dealing with. They don't know how to say it, and they've never tried it. So when I tell them the product, and I tell them that it's plant-based, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, made with organic and all natural ingredients, and then they taste it and they absolutely love it, now that's a game changer. So that's it. Once again, what are we trying to do? We're trying to build our loyalty program. We're trying to build our guests. We're trying to build our customer base, and that's key.
Now,
that's how you do it.
Final thing I want to ask you, because your brand it's proven, it works, but I want to give people the next step. How do we get involved? If people go to nauticalbowls.com, what's the next step in terms of getting involved if someone wants to buy a franchise? What do they have to do?
It's simple. Just go to our website, click on the button that says franchise opportunities. Click on that. We're going to ask you a few questions. You hit submit, and then one of our salespeople will contact you. His name is Max. He does a great job, and he'll explain the product. We'll do a deep dive with you, and you can sit in on some discovery calls and hear what other franchisees think about the business. I'll tell you all about the business. Hey, look, at the end of the day, we're not here selling franchises, we're awarding opportunities. We want to make sure that you're a good fit for our brand, because we know that our product, it's relevant in the eyes of the consumer. We're just looking for good entrepreneur-minded people with a little ambition, who want to level up. And if you have those components, then we can help get you to the promised land. But it takes work. You know what? There's no easy money out there. You got to put in the effort. Otherwise, you don't get the prize.
Brother, thank you so much for carving out time for us, and good luck with your golf game today, and we'll talk to you next week.
You're the best, Clay. Take care, brother.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't be obsessed with your desires, Danny. The Zen philosopher Basho once wrote, "A flute with no holes is not a flute. And a donut with no hole is a Danish." He's a funny guy.
You missed just that one.
In one physical model of the universe, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line in the opposite direction, Danny.
Unbelievable.
Thank you very little.
Well, Thrive Nation, we have so many wonderful people like you on our website every day, checking out the podcast. And I wanted to take a moment to celebrate the success of a longtime client that we've had the pleasure of working with for a while, so that they could complain and tell you all the terrible things that we make them do en route to growing their business. And so now, without any further ado, we have the owners of Cornerstone Fence. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Hey,
We're
doing
good.
How are you?
I am doing great. Now, just so people can know you're not a hologram, could you guys kind of introduce yourselves? Tell us your name and where you're from, just so people can verify you're not a hologram.
I'm Danica. I'm one of the owners, and this is my husband, Jordan.
My name's Jordan. We started Cornerstone Fence about 3 years ago. I'm a full-time firefighter, so it started as just something to do on my off days, make a little bit of extra money. And about a year and a half ago, we went to a business conference that Clay had out at his place. And we decided that maybe instead of building fences as a hobby, maybe we should actually turn this into a business and start trying to grow the business.
Now, how did you originally hear about us? How did that conversation come about? I'll pick on Danica here. How did that conversation come about?
Initially, it was the first Reawaken America tour that we went to. And one of my friends was like, hey, you should definitely go to the business conference beforehand. It was like a shortened version, I guess, in the morning before the Reawaken America conference in the afternoon. And really, one of my friends was just like, this could really help you. And just the tools that you gave us in the shortened version of the business conference it was just mind bombs going off. So
now, as far as the growth, you two work together, and I'll pick on Jordan here for this. What kind of growth have you guys experienced? At maybe a percentage, or what kind of growth have you seen since we started working with you guys?
So the first year we were in business, I maybe did 4 or 5 fences. Like I say, it was kind of not a hobby necessarily. I don't consider fence a hobby, but it was 3 or 4 fences the first year. So we maybe did $30,000 in fences. Second year, which was still before you, we maybe were on pace to do about $70,000 or $80,000 total revenue.
Yeah.
And then we started with you in October of 22. October of 22. And so that first year with you and putting your systems in place, really going after the Google reviews and trying to grow the company, we went from roughly like 80,000 to 700,000 in total revenue. And so that was last year. And then this year, we're hoping our goal is 1.5 million this year.
And I mean this, and so I'm not just saying this because you're here. I really do love working with you guys. Our team is always speaking so kindly about you guys. I don't tell my team, guys, run around saying nice things about these people. But, work with a client. I mean, we're working on the website. We're working on the photography, the video. There's a lot of interaction. And every week you have a coaching meeting with Andrew. And Andrew loves working with you guys. So can you maybe share, Danica, what it's like to have Andrew helping you implement the system and program that I've created? What's it like working with him on a weekly basis?
Andrew's phenomenal. He always brings so much wisdom to our meetings. Every problem that we have, he has an optimistic and realistic solution to it. And just the accountability in general, like, it's hard being accountable every single week to update your sheet, to update your tracking sheet, to track all your leads. And just the accountability is, I don't think we'd be where we are if we didn't have that kind of accountability. And just him constantly bringing us encouragement, realistic solutions, different resources we can look to, just to continue to find solutions for some of the issues that we run into.
Now, I call this the core repeatable actionable processes, AKA the crap. There's all these self-help books about the big idea and the vision and get your mindset, but there's very few books about the core repeatable actionable processes, the stuff behind the stuff. And I find that people like yourself, shawhomes.com, oxyfresh.com, stevecurrington.com, people that have massive companies now, but I've been working with these people for a lot of times over 10 years. The people that do the best are the ones that like the core, repeatable, actionable processes, or they learn to appreciate them over time. And the people that struggle are the ones that are always looking for the new shiny thing. I'd love to get your idea, Jordan, on just the importance of knocking out these core, repeatable, actionable processes week after week, day after day, because really business coaching is about helping you guys grow, but it's not an event. It's more of a process. I'd love to get your thoughts on what it's like to have those weekly meetings with Andrew.
Yeah, they've been, like Danica was saying, we like to think we're organized. We like to think we hold ourselves accountable, but without that meeting every single, it's awesome because first we can see on a weekly basis, how are we doing? Where are we at? Are we meeting the goals that we're supposed to be meeting? So without that weekly meeting, I would imagine that maybe we would get to it once a month, maybe, if we didn't have the coaching. And it would, so first, the accountability, because we're showing up every single Friday, same time, same location, and going over exactly what did we do this week. And so just staying consistent with that and having the accountability has really changed our business. For sure, just having that business meeting every week. So
Danica, what do you think would happen without that weekly meeting and that coaching with Andrew? What would happen with all these ideas you've learned at a conference or learned in books? I mean, what would happen to the plan?
It would fall apart, because then it's like, oh, well, like you said, the big shiny thing in front of you, you can always have things that interfere with your day, but unless you have a plan and something and a step that is going to hold you accountable. I mean, that's one thing we learned doing business as husband and wife is it's really hard for us to hold each other accountable. So just, Andrew's just phenomenal. He's
having a plan and having a deadline. Like every Friday is the deadline.
Yeah.
So it's like, we'll have steps we're supposed to do, but if you don't put a deadline to that, and it was just me and her trying to do it by ourselves, we might get it done in 6 months or 8 months but having that deadline, which is Friday every single week and then we get like, well, why didn't you do that? That was what you were supposed to do. It's like, okay, yeah, we messed up this week. We'll for sure get it done.
And I wanted to touch on, some of the things that you said, we learn over time to it's like, I remember when you first brought up the group interview, I'm like, that doesn't work. There's no way. And then now it's like, we are group interview savvy like that. I tell everybody that owns a business, I'm like, do a group interview every single week. Because you never know when people are not going to be loyal. You think that they're
well, you do.
awesome.
It's weekly almost, but
having a plan and a deadline, how would you describe the importance of that? Danica, having the plan and a deadline.
Well, you can just get caught up in the roll of your week, and before you know it, it's Sunday and you're starting Monday first thing in the morning. So it's like, you'd get caught up in the tumble and roll of everything. There's constantly a burning fire. There's constantly kids that are sick or kids that, something can always distract you and take you away from the necessary things you need to do to be successful. And if you sometimes it's cram time at 3:00 on Friday before I come down and meet Andrew. It's like, we got to get the tracking sheet updated. But I don't know what we would do without that. We would think we're making money, but unless on paper and can see it in black and white, it's a life changer.
Now, I want to ask you this, Jordan. What I did when I built my first company, djconnection.com, and I don't wish this on anybody, but I grew up very poor and I got a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV, just like you're a firefighter. I was working 3 jobs and I didn't know what to do. So I would go to these seminars where they'd have these get rich quick, get motivated people. And they would say, for $4,000 a month and a 6-month contract, we're going to teach you how to become successful. And then every meeting, they never really taught the stuff. There was nothing really actionable. And then I would go, okay, now that I finally think I know what I need to do you guys do the website? They said, no. Do you guys do the graphic design? No. Do you guys help me with my bookkeeping or my tracking? No. Do you guys actually do print pieces, photography, videography? No. Do you help me optimize my website? No. Do you launch ads? No. Do you actually know the process? People? No. But it was all this big idea of just work on your business, not in your business. Could you maybe explain how the meetings are with Andrew? Because I think a lot of people, when they think of business consulting or growth, they're thinking of what I thought of was paying people $4,000 a month to talk in generalities and not get into the weeds.
So the structure of the meeting. So when we come, first thing is wins of the week. Hey, what's going on? What's going on in the business? What's happening? Any big wins? After that, burning fires. Is there anything major that we need to discuss or get off? Any big problems, fires that we need to put out right now? And then after that, we get into the items, some of our homework that we're supposed to be working on. Are you guys doing this? Are you doing this? And then we get into our tracking sheet, exactly how much money came in, how much money went out, how many quotes, how many leads. Like it's very, very detailed. Way more detailed than I thought you could get. Exactly what our conversion rate is, how many quotes we did, how many customers we punted, why we punted them, what happened there. Did we do our group interview? Did we do our meetings? So the tracking sheet, I think our tracking sheet has probably 30 different metrics that we go over every single week. Everything from money to leads to where are these leads coming from? Is this working? Do we need to adjust here? So it's very tailored to our business.
One of my clients I was talking to, I talked to him just the other day, and he was telling me the story. He said, when I first hired you 12 years ago, he's still a client 12 years later. He said, you helped me grow my gym. And then I learned those systems and I hired you guys to help me grow my next business. And his next business is a lumber business. He sells lumber, wholesale log cabins. The materials need to make log cabins. And now he has a fencing business, but it's in Idaho. And he's got the fencing going on. He's got the log cabin thing going on. He's got the gym going on. And he also owns a Tip Top Canine franchise. And he told me, he said, the reason why I bought the Tip Top Canine franchise is I just knew it was the same systems that I could apply. Let me get your thoughts on that, Danica, because now that you're kind of really learning the systems, is it helping you to view business differently now that you see that, wow, this system over here, because you come to the conferences where there's many different industries represented. Has that helped you to kind of view business differently?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Before, it's really easy to get emotional when it is your business and things aren't working, they're not systematized. But if you having those systems in place and just knowing that that's what you have to do every week, it's not emotional, it's a checklist item or even a checklist. Like, why are we missing these tools? These are all the tools that we've bought and this should be on this truck. And so what happened here? If you don't keep track of those things and have it takes the emotion out of it and makes it a system.
So my final 2 questions I have for you guys, and I'll let you get back to having a great Saturday. A lot of our clients we work with are couples. A lot of them are couples. This just in. A lot of them are couples. And, my wife and I, what we do is I run the daily operations, and she loves accounting. That's kind of her sheet music she likes to read. She likes to kind of sing that song, the accounting song. That's kind of her world. And other couples I work with, they work together on everything. For anybody out there who is working with their spouse, how has that helped you guys? Because my wife and I, we don't talk about business at home, and we don't have any work-related conflict at home. It's sort of like we have our lanes, and we figured that out at a young age. But I know a lot of couples, when you don't have coaching, it can just be like a perpetual
debate that never ends about, how should we optimize the website, or what's the best route to hiring, or what's the most effective way to launch an ad. And it's like, there's a lot of debates going on. I'd love to get your thoughts, Danica. Has that helped at all? Like on the home front at all?
Oh yeah. We wouldn't be where we are without just not having to think about the website, not having to think about where we stand, because we have to discuss it every single week. And that time's allotted for those discussions. And like you said, kind of our lanes, I'm like the phones, the at home, uploading pictures to Google, all that. And he's the face and the person that's meeting and discussing the logistics of any project and directing the guys. So knowing your lane, staying in it, and just not having to think about our ads, not having to think, that's all on the back end, and you guys take care of that, and it helps me sleep at night.
All right. That's great. That's a bonus right there. Now, final question I have for you guys, and I'll go back to your husband on this one. So Jordan, for anybody out there who's thinking about scheduling a 13-point assessment, well, we did our 13-point assessment. It was a free assessment, a free initial meeting, or coming to a conference. We have scholarship tickets so that everybody out there can afford to go. So we tell people, it's $250 for a ticket or whatever you want to pay. What would you say to anybody out there that's thinking about coming to a conference or scheduling a 13-point assessment?
I highly encourage it. When we came to the very first one, and we didn't know about your coaching stuff, and the first part of that conference was a condensed version of the coaching, and then you guys offered the 13-point assessment, and Danica was like, I think we really need to do this. And I was like, man, I don't know. We like last year, at this point we're doing like 50 or 60,000 in fences total revenue. And I was like, I don't know. It's just, we're a tiny business. We don't have like the skills to run a massive business. I was almost scared first to grow it, but very doubtful that something that we were running maybe could be a big business. It still sounds weird to say that we did $700,000 last year, and this year that we're hopefully on track, and our goal's over $1 million. In my mind, that still doesn't compute, because I'm not, I guess I don't consider myself like a successful business owner, or I didn't, at least before. And so it all started with that coming to a conference and then doing that 13-point assessment and talking with you. Our first meeting was, we came in and visited with you, and I don't know, it freaked me out, but it's really changed the way that we view business, number one.
Yeah.
How we run our business, and has gotten us to this point where maybe we will this year be over $1 million in total revenue.
Can I give you a little pro tip on the show? This is my little pro tip for you on the show. If you want to hit 2 million,
yes.
This is a real thing. This is a real advice I would give you. One of my wonderful clients named Don Calvert with Score Basketball. He did this move, and I'm giving you this move, and everybody listening to the move. And what he did is he said, in the future, I'm going to start servicing Owasso, Oklahoma. Not now, but soon I'm going to start providing basketball consulting for Owasso. And soon I'm going to start gathering, I'm going to start servicing Broken Arrow. Now, at the time, he was just in Bixby. So I said, so Don, let's go ahead and register the Google map for the office that you're building, or the location you're going to service. And let's go ahead and put a sprinkling of articles on those search engine content and on those markets, so that your phones will start ringing before you actually open up the new basketball training facility. And no exaggeration at all. His leads almost tripled by doing that. And then that created the growth and the justification. And I'm telling you, just a little secret between you and me and everybody watching, Oklahoma is in need of some serious professional fencing installers. I mean, this job, I'm just telling you. So if you guys were to do what you're doing and kind of start, going down a little bit further down the highway, like registering a map in Owasso or Oklahoma City or whatever markets you're thinking about going to, and begin putting not a lot of energy, but a little bit of energy into calling your current happy customers and getting reviews and writing that content, you'll start getting massive leads. And you'll probably hit 2 million in the next 12 months. I'm just telling you, because you guys have the systems. You've worked so hard to build these systems, and I know you guys can continue to scale. Thank you guys for carving out time. Are you guys in like a pole barn here? Is this the man cave? Where are you guys?
This is our big win of the week.
Yeah, that's the win of the week. working on getting the shop finished so we can start buying materials in bulk so we get better pricing on materials, storing it, and saving time instead of the crews. Right now, the crews get here in the morning, then they go to the supplier, get materials, and then they go to the job site.
Did you build this?
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is exciting.
Yeah. This is 40 by 60. And anyways, it's exciting because this has been one of our big hangups is we need to get better pricing on materials, which is happening now. And the way you do that is you buy it in bulk. Well, you got to have somewhere to store it. And so it's all, anyways, this is our big win of, I guess, really.
Can I get a little tour? Can I get a tour real quick? Can you kind of walk us around real quick? This is awesome. I'm so excited for you guys. I love construction. Does it smell like new wood?
It does.
Oh, yeah. Look at
all right.
this.
So this is the front of the shop. So and really it's at our house. So a lot of things is like we wanted a commercial facility, but right now that's not in the budget. So we're making do with what we have. So we got a 40 by 60 going in. So we got all the work trucks here behind us. Anyways, right now it's going to get us by until we, hit that 1.5, maybe 2 million. And at that point, we're going to go and start looking for commercial land. So anyways, we're going to store a lot of like 2x4s, pickets, steel posts, like the bread and butter of what we do will be stored in here. And so garage doors are coming hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks. Those take a little while, but we just got the concrete poured. So it's really a blank canvas right now. So today we're planning out shelving and where we're going to start storing everything and how to, I guess, try to make the best use of it. You
got to be pretty pumped up about this, huh?
Oh, I'm super excited. We're both very excited.
Oh, this is awesome. Well, congratulations, guys. I know you guys have been putting in the hard work there. And it's good to see it paying off for you. And again, thank you so much for carving out time. And we'll see you next week, okay?
Thank you so much, Clay.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Hey, Clay Clark and my Thrive peeps. It's Steve Currington, as you can tell. Although I'm not wearing my signature green shirt as usual, but I am riding in my signature green Lamborghini. And I just wanted to say how appreciative I am of Thrive and all the guys at Thrivetime and the show and everything that you guys have done. At Total Ending Concepts, we have had tremendous growth and a lot of things changing, especially on the marketing front. And from a coaching perspective and from a web presence and branding and our internet leads are up. Everything is hammering on all cylinders, and really we're just trying to figure out how we can leverage the systems and the processes that we're learning at Thrive more in our business. So now we're setting up a lead tracking system that has been long overdue, and we're doing lots of stuff. But I wanted to take a minute and say thank you to Thrive and Clay Clark and Dr. Z and everybody for all the help in helping us grow our business and hopefully buy more Lamborghinis like this the more we sell. So appreciate it, guys. See ya.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company or, navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months and you have $350,000 of bills you got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that, and of course we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing, and I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you, and there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Kola with Kola Fitness. Thank you, Clay, and anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Kola. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us. And it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I've found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing, and Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you if you're thinking about working with Clay. I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love the building relationships, but one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. The processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.